thank you all for coming out this evening. Your interest, love, and passion for our community is what we all share. My family and I have become very entrenched within our community through Anmore Elementary, where my son attends, as well as Scouts in the 3 years I've served as your village councillor. It certainly is fulfilling. It is my hope as well that you share my love of our green semi-rural lifestyle. It's what brought us here. Serving on council for the past 3 years has been a very interesting endeavor. Learning the intricacies of municipal government, as well as balancing the needs and wants of constituents, has its challenges. Yet what a rewarding experience. Being able to institute dialogue that helps constitute policy to protect the environment, as well as develop a parks plan within our community, is an ongoing goal of mine. Having continuity from council term to council term is paramount, as there are several issues facing us in the coming months, such as the proposed development of the new middle school, finalization of the 2012 budget, green waste recycling mandated for Metro Vancouver, and working on a resolution to the infamous rec fees. I feel I'm well versed in making sure Anmore's interests are strongly held. The relationships that I've established with staff and neighboring municipal leaders will ensure our community's interests are conveyed in a productive manner. As a proven team player, I hope to work hard on keeping our low tax rate without compromising our infrastructure. My commitment to you is to continue to work hard, to be fair, to be accessible. I love our community and look forward to continuing to work for you. I ask for your support. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tracy Green, and I'm running for a council seat. I'm really happy to be here this evening, and I'm really thrilled to see so many people from the Village of Anmore residents come out and participate in our local election. We do have one of the best turnouts for all candidates meetings in the Tri-Cities. So I've been very involved in the community of Anmore in the 8 years that I've lived here. As a volunteer, I've participated on many village committees and with local community groups, and I truly believe that this type of participation helps build a healthy and strong community. So I'm asking for your support on November 19th so that I can work with residents and council to move forward in a positive and a collaborative manner, and to make decisions that our community can be proud of. So there's several things I'd like to accomplish with your help and input while on council. The first is to reaffirm the Village of Anmore's commitment to community. On council, I'd like to work with residents to identify our short and long-term goals for health, recreation, and events. And I'd also like to continue to support local community initiatives that are so important to Anmore and really make the community that we live in. So next, I want to continue to support Council's current work on fiscal management and long-term planning that they've been working hard on over the past 3 years. This includes identifying service priorities through public consultation and working on a collective plan that matches the size and the character of our village. Really, the goal is being to create a responsible budget and reasonable tax rates for all of our residents. So over the next year, the Village of Anmore will be updating their official community plan. This is an exciting opportunity for Anmore residents to provide their vision on how they would like our community to develop. I'd like to work with our residents and village committees to develop specific neighborhood plans that provide a clear vision for future land use and development that maintains our semi-rural lifestyle and addresses environmental issues. So thank you, and I look forward to your comments this evening.
My name is Tim Laidler. I'm married, my wife Deb is here, and we have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And they've been involved in various activities in Anmore over the last 15 years, such as the Cubs, the youth group, and my wife was a member of the PTA. I've been a police officer for 38 years. I was a member of the London Metropolitan Police for 1 year. I was a member of the RCMP for 7, and I've been with the Vancouver Police Department for the past 30. As you may realise, there may be differences of opinion between myself and lawyers. However, the reason I'm running for Anmore Council is I want to see respect put back into our procedure. And that includes people that we don't like. Even if we don't like them, we should listen to what they have to say. We should appreciate what they have to say. We may not always be able to act on it, but everyone should be treated with respect. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to use Mr. Weinberg, and I hope you forgive me for using his name, but when he was a mayor in Anmore, he did many things to try and further the benefit of Anmore as a village. I didn't agree with many things that Mr. Weinberg did. However, I always respected him as a man, and I respected him as the mayor. And I think that's critical for all members of the council to do and be. The other thing that I think is more critical as a skill is that we want negotiation, not lawsuits. I think as a group on council, and if you elect me, this is something I will be very strong in trying to put forward. We need to negotiate the various issues that are important to all of us. Thank you. I hope you vote for me.
Thank you, candidate. Now's your opportunity to ask questions. We have about an hour and a half, and I would ask you to approach the microphone and line up. Give us, if there's a specific candidate you want to address your question to, please identify that candidate, and then any candidate is then able to respond after the person is identified. Please keep your questions short, make them questions, and candidates, please, your answers should be short answers so everybody gets a chance to be heard, and there can be a next question. So, your name and your question.
Good evening. My name is Chris Green, and I am currently a councillor but not running for re-election. To all candidates, do you have any interest or potential benefit, either directly or indirectly, from the development and sale of any property in the village of Anmore, with the exception of your own personal residence on a single family lot not greater than 1 acre? And specifically to Mayor Anderson, what are your plans for the property owned by a family company of which you are a director? Thank
you. My family bought 16 acres of land 40 some odd years ago in Anmore, and another 15 acres 30 some odd years ago. Over that time, my parents subdivided about 10 acres off Spence Way on the right-hand side. It took about 20 years to do that. And they then subdivided about 5 acres off where we live, off Hillcrest Drive, over that 40-year period. I hardly consider my family high-end developers. If you look at how long it's taken them to do that, we live in Anmore, we enjoy our property, and it's a family holding, and I am a 1/6 shareholder with the other members of my family of that remaining amount of land. My parents are now getting quite old and really not developing anything lately. Thank you.
Short and sweet answer, I own my home, and the bank owns part of that.
Same thing.
I guess I own my home with my husband Chaz, who's in the audience. Thank you.
My wife owns the house we live in. We did build a house behind us that we lived in briefly. And we decided that we would sell that and move into the one in front, which we did. And just to keep everything transparent, I just passed a real estate course. I hope to sell real estate in the future, but I'm very aware of the conflict of interest guidelines that be involved in being a member of the Anmore Council, and I can assure you that they will be fully respected.
My family and I own one family dwelling on a 2-acre parcel.
I have a long answer, so I hope you packed a snack. Then the short answer is no. The long answer is everyone knows that my father-in-law is a developer. Yes, my father-in-law is a developer. Yes, he has worked within the 1 acre concept. Yes, there are now dozens of Anmore residents living in homes that he has built. His developments were well underway before I made it to council, and therefore they never came to the council table while I was there. If they had, I would have excused myself anyway. My father-in-law's development work is finished, and I don't think he has any plans to continue. This council will not be working any projects by him either. That's about my family. About me, I'm not for development. I'm not against development either. The record will show that I did not turn away any development. The record will show that I did turn away development over this term, that I did not feel worked for the village at that time. What I am for is good policy. Good policy about development guides and defines what we all want to see in our village. And that policy comes from volunteers, residents participating in drafting the OCP. I urge you to get involved in that process and help us make that good policy.
Thank you.
I don't own any land in Anmore. The bank owns it. They just let me live there as long as I pay. We own in total just over 4 acres with my wife, my brother-in-law, his wife, his 2 kids, and our 2 kids. But we both live on the 4 acre parcel just off of East Road. And that's all the land we have. I wish I had more, but I don't.
Like most people here, I live on 1 acre, mostly owned by the bank. I did enjoy the use of an additional 9 acres that belong to a developer. And the reason I'm sitting at this table today is because I saw what developers can do. And I have to tell you that despite our bylaws and our tree management policies, we do need people on council who can make sure that we get better bylaws and better management, because the development that surrounds me was not brilliantly done.
Thank you.
My name is Tribe, and I have a question for all the members running for council and mayor. But first of all, I'd like to commend Mr. Laidler for talking about respect. And I did hear disrespectful comments coming from the back when the other speaker was speaking. And I would suggest that if we are to learn the word respect, we should respect each other when people are talking. And I would ask that the moderator ensure that.
I'll do my best.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll ask everybody to be respectful, please.
Thank you. If we are to liberate funds to address critical infrastructure works, the only means is to reduce our administrative costs, which are high in comparison to percentage of tax base and cost per residents. Heather Anderson is a QP-backed mayor, and if successful in her bid for mayor again, this becomes an impossible task. If you are successfully elected to council, how would you deal with this issue in a fiscally responsible way?
Heather, you can go ahead and start because you were leading that question.
Our employees in the village of Anmore are not QP members. So yes, although I do receive support from QP, there is no QP employees in the village of Anmore. The costs we have, as a municipality, we provide services. You need people to provide services. That's what we do as a municipality. So you need to have the staff to provide those services. We've actually been very careful in not hiring staff until we absolutely need them. Right now, we're probably short a public works person, but we're putting that off. We've been short since the frontline counter staff people. We put that off until we absolutely had to do that. And the same with our financial people too. We put that off over the years, and then we finally got to the point where we really needed to hire an accountant to do that job. So in Anmore, we looked at our staffing very, very carefully and put it off until we absolutely had to have those services. And I think if you look at our budget, it's tight. You know, it is tight. We're careful with the money we have.
To answer fair, I'm going to start at this end of the table now, and we'll move that way.
I would ask to have the question clarified, but would you be able to just
Well, how
Ask
it's
the
going,
question.
how are you going to deal with because our infrastructure is critically bad in many aspects right now, and there's going to be funds required to do this. And administrative costs are very, very high. How are you going to address that issue in a fiscally responsible way, because we have to deal with infrastructure?
I guess I was a little confused by the,
How's Anmore going to pay for infrastructure?
the only way we can pay for it is through taxation. We only have one source of income. And, you know, it's a brilliant question. And I think what we really have to recognize is that we only have one source of income, and that is taxation. And we need to look at how we spend our money. And I think that that's really the question that you're asking, is how are we going to budget? And we have to look at it, and we have to look at it critically. But we can't do it in a vacuum. We do have staff, we need staff, but I think we just need to always be very careful about where our expenditures are, and we need to evaluate them carefully. And I think you bring up a good point about our infrastructure. As we develop very quickly, we're building